Good evening. This is Ralph Jaffe, leader of the movement to begin the process of getting rid of all the corruption in Maryland government and replacing it with real, true political, ethical reform. That's what we try to do. Tonight, I want to talk about some comments made by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Congresswoman Pelosi. The other day, she said she's making news. She says she really does not want to impeach President Trump. She says, first of all, we need a smoking gun, she says, a smoking gun. Then she says, even if we impeach him, there are not going to be enough Republicans to vote for his conviction. So we'll lose and it'll make us look bad. And then she says, it's not worth it. If there's ever a classic example of why I've been telling people for years now why both parties are both morally bankrupt, this is it. Congressman Pelosi is more concerned about her Democratic Party than she is about what's doing in the best interest of the country. Clearly, the House of Representatives, the people's government, has the obligation to make sure that no one undermines the Constitution. No one is above the law, including President Trump. And she says it's not worth it. So what she says is like this. Let's let the various committees, the Judicial Committee, the Ways and Means Committee, the Intelligence Committee, get all the information, subpoena all these people that have information. I think they've sent out now 81 subpoenas and gather all the information. It's going to take a year and a half to get all the information. And so what they want to do is to make the president look bad. They do not want to impeach him. They just want to make him look bad so it will enhance the chances of the Democratic Party voting Mr. Trump out of office. There's only one problem with that. First of all, she says I. She's always talking about I. What about the pronoun we? She's supposed to represent all the people, not just herself. And she's not carrying out her constitutional responsibilities. Furthermore, there's enough evidence right now to convict Mr. Trump after he's impeached by the House. There's enough evidence to convict him in the Senate. We call it circumstantial evidence. As a matter of fact, circumstantial evidence in some ways is better than witnesses because witnesses have a tendency to lie, like people like Michael Cohen, Paul Manafort, and yes, President Trump with his over 11,000 lies. So you don't need to use sophisticated subpoenas and all this information. The circumstantial evidence is out there. Let me give an example. Mr. Trump on national television admitted to Lester Holt that he fired Mr. Comey because he wanted to put a stop to the investigation against him. He admitted that. Then there's also the bribe money. President Trump has taken millions and millions of dollars from Russian oligarchs, these heavy hitters from Russia. And as a reward for that, and this bribe money that the president took, he's come up with policies that are pro-Russian, anti-United States. Then there's the hush money that President Trump gave to Michael Cohen to make sure that the stories about two porn stars having sexual relations with the president would not come out in the public because they wanted to make sure this information would not be made known to the public because Mr. Trump was afraid, had that been the case, it could have cost him the election. So there's all this hush money. Illegal campaign finance laws were violated. It's right there. There's also evidence that President Trump directed Michael Cohen to pay for all this hush money. It's there in black and white. The evidence is there to impeach him and to convict him. Yet nothing's happening. By the time, like I said, by the time all the information is gathered, it'll be too late to impeach him. This is what the Democratic Party wants to do. So both parties are corrupt. Now, what makes this so sad is because every day that President Trump is in power, he puts our country in peril. His rhetoric, his inflammatory rhetoric that encourages hate crimes to be committed by some of these crazy people. His policies, which are pro-Russian, pro-North Korean. His own CIA and intelligence agencies say that that the president is not even listening to them. He's putting our country in peril because he cares more about himself than he does about the country. And every day that he's in power, it makes us, again, vulnerable to all kinds of potential disasters that could happen. So what's the answer? The answer is like this. I've said it again for many years. I'll say it again. Right now, based upon my 5 principles of political ethical behavior, we do not have one ethical politician in this country, not one. So the answer is like this. I'm running for Congress in the 3rd Congressional District against Paul Sarbanes. John Sarbanes. I believe it's John Sarbanes. Paul was his father. I can't run for governor again, and I can't run for United States Senate again until 2022. But I don't want to lose the momentum we have now. We made a lot of progress with the media. You know, I think I mentioned, or I'm going to say it now, since December the 2nd, there have now been 7 articles printed by the Baltimore Sun. The most recent one was in today's paper. We made a lot of progress. I need your help. With your help, we can have a tremendous victory in the 2020 congressional election. I ask you to tell your friends, spread the word, and we can make this a great victory. Thank you for listening to me.